Hi, this is Brennan Harvey. Welcome to the story behind the story. Today I'm going to discuss how I came up with my fantasy short story titled My Monster Can Beat Up Your Monster. My Monster Can Beat Up Your Monster is about a monster named Gel assigned to mentor a little girl named Patricia. His devotion for her is so strong, he's willing to break hard and fast edicts to ensure Patricia's mental well-being. When he does, the Monster Council terminates Gel's relationship with his kid. Can Gel convince the Monster Council to change their decision? It's published in Galaxy's Edge magazine in their March-April 2017 release, issue 25. It's available at www.galaxiesedge.com. I'll put a link in the description below. So, where did I get the idea for My Monster Can Beat Up Your Monster? Well, I'm pretty lucky. My wife is also a writer, and she understands my writer's quirks, the demands of my time, the frustration with getting published, the struggles with developing a great entertaining idea, because she has the same issues. Every now and again, we share the problems we're having, be it with characterization, or plotting, or pacing, or the dozens of other issues that crop up in a writer's life. Every now and then, we brainstorm story ideas. One day, my wife came to me with a basic idea, a monster under the bed. She knew that she needed a character, setting, and conflict before she should start writing. She had an interesting character and kind of a setting, but what about a conflict? We discussed a number of ideas, all of which weren't right for her. They weren't the story that she wanted to tell. When I came upon the idea of My Monster Can Beat Up Your Monster, it wasn't what she wanted to write about. So I asked her if I could develop the idea for myself, and she said yes. A monster, unnamed at this point, my protagonist. A very intelligent monster who has been mentoring kids for generations. He speaks in a kind of a broken English to disguise his intelligence and motivations. His goal is to ensure that his charge grows up to be a nice person. The monster's charge, Patricia. I kind of wanted her to be a handful for her monster, not your typical goody two-shoes. She's on the verge of becoming a mean girl, and he needs to redirect her. Monster number 2, unnamed at this point, the monster Patricia's monster would battle. I wasn't sure if Patricia's monster and this monster were rivals or friends at this point. Kid number 2, also unnamed. I needed another kid who would be a mentoree for my second monster. He's a rival in the playground power struggle, and that sets off Patricia. I imagined most of the story would take place in Patricia's room. Rather than have the monster under the bed, I decided to put it in the closet. That's where I've always envisioned monsters living. Perhaps it's Berkeley Breathed's fault, or the fault of the Monsters, Inc. movie. Perhaps it's because I didn't want to completely steal my wife's setting. Sometimes we never fully understand why we make the writing decisions we make. We just do what feels right. I also imagined a schoolyard where the actual battle would take place. The title of the story, My Monster Can Beat Up Your Monster, implied the conflict stated by Patricia. Two monsters fighting to settle the differences between two kids. That didn't appeal to me. In a short story, a lot of hand-to-hand combat gets pretty tedious and inflates the word count. I needed the battle to be minimal, but still needed a good conflict. I didn't want schoolmates arguing to be my main conflict either. I finally decided on the idea that monsters are not supposed to beat up on other monsters, a la Ape Must Never Kill Ape from the 1973 film Battle for the Planet of the Apes. My kid demanding her monster battle her rival's monster was a demand he could not fulfill. That conflict, tearing former friends, monster and kid, apart, was satisfying and something that interested me. And that's this part of the story behind the story of My Monster Can Beat Up Your Monster. Thanks for watching. I hope you found it informative and interesting. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe using the YouTube buttons below. I publish a new video every Wednesday. Next time, I'll discuss my first draft writing process for My Monster Can Beat Up Your Monster. If you'd like to read My Monster Can Beat Up Your Monster, it's published in Galaxy's Edge magazine in their March-April 2017 release, issue 25. It's available at www.galaxiesedge.com. I'll put a link in the description below.